All right. Well, Florida goes down 13-20 to Kentucky here. Um, and, what you can only call like the worst refereed game of the year. But I don't even want to go there on it because a lot of these penalties that were called on us, it was our own doing. But we're going to kind of break down this game a little bit, but we're going to more or less go into like what's going on with Florida. Like, what is going on at the University of Florida? All right, so Kentucky came into this game. They're 4-0, but nobody expects them to, really be anything. They're not even ranked at 4-0. So, yeah, it's not a team that the number 10 team in the nation should be losing to. But we're going to kind of break this down just a tad bit because when you look at it here, like let's scroll down a little bit here. Okay, so total yards. Florida had 382 total yards to Kentucky's 224. Turnover battle was at 1-1 each. Possession, Florida 36 minutes and 18 seconds. Kentucky only 23 minutes. First downs, we had 10 more first downs than Kentucky did, but yet somehow we lost this game 13-20. Now this really reflects back to the Alabama game, and I know I went hard on Alabama with my officiating video or whatnot, but this is terrible, man. This is terrible football. This is literally the refs called the game. Like penalties, you have here 15 penalties against Florida for 115 yards. Kentucky, 4 penalties for 30 yards. Now, a lot of these penalties, they did come off of false starts, and we're going to get into all this because at this point, we have 2 losses. So, Florida, like, we're not even in contention for anything. Even if we win out the East, like, we will more than likely beat Georgia this year, but it will not matter, and Georgia will go back to the SEC championship against Alabama, where they will probably lose again. They won't get into the playoffs, and then it's just like back to where the East doesn't matter anymore. And but yeah, at this point, it's sad to see Florida this low, like in the totem pole, to where like you beat everybody as far as the stats goes, but when it comes to things that are hurting us in general, such as penalties, we just can't seem to win. All right, so Anthony Richardson versus Emory Jones. Okay, so Emory Jones comes in here. He has a pretty good game. Um, he tries his best, whatever you want. But let's be honest here, Dan Mullen. In the fourth quarter, you should have put Anthony Richardson in. Anthony Richardson should have been in the game at the fourth quarter. We're losing on the road here, and we still have Emory Jones in. And I get it. You're like, oh, you want the guy that's been with the system. He's been in there. He's been, doing, whatever reps that please you or whatever. It doesn't matter, man. Anthony Richardson, he has that it factor, and I would have at least tried it. I would have at least tried it tonight. Tonight, Florida goes down as a laughing stock. Even though when you look at the stats, it's like it's crazy. It's crazy how good we actually were. But apparently, you can have 115 yards on penalties, and nobody will say a word about it. But yeah, I would have put Anthony Richardson in. I would have tried to get something established to the point where it wouldn't have mattered. The refs wouldn't have, had to come in. But it's rough. It's rough as a Florida fan right now because we should have won this game. It shouldn't have even been close. It seems like we're playing around with this 2 quarterback system. We're trying so hard for this to become Chris Leak versus or Chris Leak and Tim Tebow, and it's not that. It's not Chris Leak and Tim Tebow. It's not that at all. It's literally just Emory Jones that goes in, and when he doesn't have his go-to guy that's going to be targeted, and he doesn't have his go-to receiver open, it's going to be incomplete, or it's going to be an interception, or we're going to run the ball. Like, it's no secret here, man. Like, we're stacking 3 wide receivers and Copeland out to the singled out on the opposite side. It's not a secret who we're going here to. We're either doing a screen pass or we're trying to get one-on-one with Copeland, and it's rough to see. Kudos to Kentucky though. Kentucky, they played a hell of a game tonight. They came in here 4-0. Maybe a lot of people underrated them. They're still not that good. I'm not going to lie to Kentucky here. Florida is not that good right now. Like, Florida has a lot of issues, and it seems to be that these issues are internal. Like, these internal issues from Florida, I don't know what we're thinking when we're in the locker, or when we're planning for this game. But at some point, I would have had in my game plan to where we're going to put Anthony Richardson in. Like, if we don't have Anthony Richardson in when we're losing by this much amount, something needs to be in there. But yeah, it is a terrible game. I mean, we did pretty good as far as when you look at the stats, but obviously our offensive line is not as disciplined as we expected them to be, because there was so many false starts. Like, I can't even blame Kentucky. Like, a lot, this to the Alabama game, like, it was a lot of like pass interference. But this game, there's a lot more penalties, but the penalties are because of us. It's because we're not disciplined. We don't have the discipline, to go on the road in these environments, go with a, zero talk snap count to where it's on a clap or, some type of, signal. We just don't have that anymore. And when it came to the clutch moment, Emory Jones could not come through. I mean, we even got gifted right there at the end of the fourth quarter, right on the goal line. We got gifted with a first down, and yet still we commit another penalty on false start. So I don't know what's going on as far as the offensive line. What we're doing to with our snap count or anything. But man, we did not look like the number 10 team in America today. The stats, yeah, we should have won this game, but again, it just comes down to we should have won this game without the refs getting involved, and that comes from momentum. Another thing that I want to talk about tonight, I know this is mumble jumbled. I just got done watching this game. I was very, very upset, like extremely upset over this game. This should not have happened tonight, but yeah, it did happen. Florida, we will go on to be, just a mediocre team this year. It's going to be a mediocre team. Pierce, Wright, Davis. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with Davis. Like, one week he's phenomenal. He's the best running back in America, and then the next week or this week, it's just like he doesn't. He's scared to run the ball. I don't get it, man. I really do not get it. Like, we cannot have the best rushing attack in America and then go out there tonight and put on this performance. Like, it's disappointing, man. But yeah, Georgia fans, they are hooting and hollering right now. This is the best day of their lives. When Florida loses, it's like Georgia's favorite day of the year. But yeah, we lost today, and it sucks, man. It sucks. But congratulations to Kentucky. I think this is the first time in like 16 attempts that they've actually won at home against us. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm just pretty upset right now over this, over the results of this game. But yeah, man, shout out to their crowd too, man. Their crowd came out tonight, forced a lot of those penalties as far as false starts go. But yeah, when it boils down, the thing that was supposed to save us tonight, Dan Mullen, his offense, his game plan, the way he schemes these games, this was supposed to be, what saves us in these close games. And tonight it didn't show up. It did not show up at all. Like, it was there was no question what was we can't pass the ball. We cannot pass the ball with Emory Jones. We have one of the best receivers in college football, and yet he was not targeted at all in the game until the fourth quarter. Like, I just do not understand the logic that goes behind like not starting Anthony Richardson. I mean, there's got to be at some point, like you had him in the game. Like there was almost a targeting call against him. He's not Tim Tebow. Anthony Richardson isn't Tim Tebow. He's not like, just like a select piece that comes in for Chris Leak. Like Anthony Richardson is 10 times Tim Tebow. Like he's got all of the physical attributes, and he also, he can throw the ball. That's the biggest thing, is he can throw the ball. But apparently Dan Mullen did not see that tonight. And we just kept going with Anthony Richardson. Or excuse me, we kept going with Emory Jones, and it just never, unless we're running like the option or like some stupid wildcat that you never really want to see at Florida. Like unless we're doing that, like Emory Jones doesn't really look that good in there. Like if we're just not that type of team. So yeah, man, it's just a rough game, rough day for Florida, and yeah, man. Shout out to the officials that decided to call that many penalties. Like I said, I mean, you just look at the stats, guys. Look at these stats here. Like, look at the stats that are on your screen and tell me Kentucky should have won that game. And then look at the penalties. It's getting to the point where it's completely blatant. Like it's so blatant that like the games get called to certain ways that it's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. I don't know. Georgia looked really, really good this weekend against Arkansas. But who is Arkansas at this point? Is Arkansas really that great? They beat Texas A&M, but I saw earlier Texas A&M was struggling a little bit. So I don't know. It's a rough day for Florida fans, man. It's a rough day for Florida fans. What's up, Laron? Appreciate you coming through. I know this isn't a boxing live stream, but I had to go live for this game because it's just like the state of Florida program right now. It's just terrible. It's terrible to watch. Like this isn't okay. This is never okay to sit here and like watch Florida put on this performance and then be like, well, you know what? We're learning. Well, no, we've been learning for way too long. Like we're done with like, it's, we're still growing. No, we can't be growing for this long. At this point, the plant's just like a bad seed or something. But it says big up to Michigan and Michigan State. I'm watching. Yo, Michigan. Laurent, Michigan's looking pretty good this year. They had a very good win against Wisconsin. They're probably the dark horse team outside of the SEC, to be honest with you, because everybody's already wrote them off. They weren't even ranked, I believe, coming into this year. But Michigan, I mean, that's one team you can never write off. And this year, they're actually looking pretty good. They're getting the wins that they need in their conference. And today, they got a huge win at at Wisconsin. So shout out to them. Oregon, number 3 team, they also went down today. They went down to Stanford. They should not have lost that game. But they went down. It was overtime. But at least they made it to overtime, man. Like Florida, we couldn't even convert when the ball game was on the line. It's like we were first and goal, and we just couldn't do it. And that just boils down to the play calling. At the end of this game, it boiled down to the play calling, and we didn't deliver. In the previous games, we had gone for it on fourth down so many times, and we'd been a little bit successful going for it on fourth down. But this game, we didn't have the courage. I don't think that our guys wanted to go for it on fourth down. Like I think like Kentucky's defense is legit. They're pretty legit, but it's just different when you face like when you're trying to compare it to like a Georgia or like the Alabama defense, because they can just rotate so many players out and you're pretty much getting the same production, the same quality every single time. Laurent says, yeah, Michigan has a huge question mark. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did coming into the year. They've done, I mean, they're doing very well. I mean, they're better than Florida. I can tell you right now, they should be ranked ahead of Florida. They're undefeated, and Florida's sitting here with 2 losses. One of the losses is just it shouldn't be there. All right, so Zachary says get Richardson in as a starter the rest of the year so he can get the reps, build him up in the season. Yeah, I 100% agree there. We've got to get Richardson in. At this point, we it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all what what we're going to end, anything like that. It just doesn't matter. Like, get Richardson in. We've got to, we've got to try and change into something new. But it's just, it's like we should have had Richardson in tonight. That's the biggest thing. We should have had Richardson in tonight to where he could have at least tried to win the game for us. And the fact that we did not have him in to try and win the game for us, I don't know. It's frustrating to watch. There's nothing against Dan Mullen. Like, to be honest, this program without Dan Mullen, we would be so much worse. Like it would. It's no question. Dan Mullen, he's the man to have up there. But you sometimes when he makes these decisions to not put him in, you're just like, what the heck's going on? Like, I think we could have won this ball game tonight. Like, I'm almost certain we could have won this ball game tonight had Anthony Richardson came in and at least started from that point on. This going back and forth. It never. I mean, when Chris Leak and Tim Tebow did this, guys, it worked. But we also had 2 losses that year. It was a miracle that we got into the championship game, and I know we blew out Ohio State in that championship game. But at the same time, it was like a miracle that we got there. It was still on the computer. The computer was telling people, how to or how people should be aligned at the end of the year or whatnot. But we got in that way. But yeah, it's not going to work anymore. There's never going to be a time that we have 2 losses, inside the SEC and make it to the playoffs or a championship team or to that game to where we can say, oh, well, it worked over 10, 11 games. It's like we're not going to have that much time anymore. It's like if we cannot win the first half of the season, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how cool it looks at the end of the year. All right, Big Pass Professor, UK really isn't legit. We gave them that game period. Don't understand these same 10 players are. Well, I'll tell you one thing that UK did do is they established that they have a very good defense because it's no secret that Florida operates. I guess you could say aside from tonight solely on the offense, taking up the majority of the clock. But that's also Stoops, man. Stoops, he's had Dan Mullen's number for so long. Like last year, it was a pretty bad loss for Kentucky or whatnot. But the year before, just y'all beating us like that, it hadn't been done in I don't even know how many years. But yeah, he's had Dan Mullen's number. He continues to have his number. Tonight, Kentucky fans showed up. The penalty yards that you see there, y'all can slap yourselves on the back for that because, I mean, that crowd it was phenomenal. But yeah, Florida man, we're terrible. We are terrible. We are terrible when it comes to being disciplined. I guess that's the only thing you can chalk up from tonight because we won every single other stat category, but when it comes to penalties, things like that, we could not win it. But like I said, at the fourth quarter, I would have put Anthony Richardson in. Anthony Richardson would have been in, and he would have started. And there would be no taking him out from there. I don't care if we Kentucky put 21 more points on us. It's okay because we're obviously not as good as we thought we should be. And yeah, man, I was kind of going hard on the ranking system, saying that we should be ranked a lot harder, but we hadn't played away from home. We had not played away from home to where if we get behind, can we come back? Yeah, we got behind 21 points against Alabama, and we were almost about to tie the game, but tonight, against Kentucky at their home site, we were not able to do that, and it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to watch. Todd Grantham probably had one of his better nights of the year. I think I'm not sure if Smoke made 100 yards or not, but he was damn sure close to it. And yeah, man, our front it's not as good as we thought it would be. There's a lot of new pieces up there, and we were kind of like, oh yeah, they just they're gonna plug in and they're just gonna work. But yeah, we got destroyed in the trenches, especially early. Like early game, like we were not able to force anything. I think it may have even been the fourth quarter, but it was probably the third quarter, the first time we got a sack on Kentucky, and we were able to force nothing. And shout out to Kentucky, they weren't allowing us to do so. There was a point in the game, I believe, in the third quarter, we couldn't even stop the run at all. We just sat there and we took it straight to the mouth every single time they wanted to run the ball. They just ran it straight up the middle. But yeah, like I said, time of possession, we had the ball the majority of the game, yet um, we couldn't do anything with it. We couldn't capitalize. We have, I don't know, I guess the worst scoring or red zone offense in college football. To have that much time left to just score one touchdown, yeah, no, man, it was hard to watch. It was hard to stomach, and we got an extra we got an extra set of downs there. Of course, there was that offense or that a false start that they called on number 20 for Florida, though. What the heck was that? Like, he didn't move at all. Like, it was him breathing that maybe they called him, false start on. But either way, I don't even think, had that not been called, I don't think Emory would have put it in the end zone. Like, Emory he just isn't that clutch factor. Like, he's just not, he does not, he can't win. He cannot win a ball game from behind. Like, it has to be a comfortable lead for him to be able to, um, you know, go out there and actually win a game, I guess you could say. But yeah, I'm not going to harp too much longer. I just wanted to come on here. Um, he said was not a false start. There are several. I mean, at the time, man, when I was watching it, especially, well, okay, so I know you're a Kentucky fan, and it's cool, but yeah, they were calling it on the offensive line, but this time in particular, he said number 20. And when they did the replay, even the ESPN guy was like, I don't know what they're talking about there. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it shouldn't matter because we couldn't we couldn't turn anything into a touchdown tonight. Aside from the second quarter, or yeah, I think maybe the first quarter. I don't remember when it was. We could not score on Kentucky, and I don't know if that's because Kentucky has the best defense, in the SEC East, which is probably not true, or the fact that we're just not a disciplined team. And I'm starting to lead towards the fact that we're just not that disciplined anymore, man. Like there's at no point should you have this. You should not have 115 yards of penalties. Like this is insane. Like if that 115 yards was added, like it would, this game wouldn't be close. But said I was Gator bred, Gator born, and when I die, I'll be Gator dead. Okay, I hear you, bud. Yeah, I mean, okay, so you're a Gator fan, but yeah, man, I don't know. I just don't. I just don't understand where we're going in the program. It seems like every year it's like, yeah, we're building, but are we building? It's like we're never like top three in recruiting. We're not getting to that point where we're top three, and when we have these stars that come out like Anthony Richardson in the first two games, man, you got to go with that. Like that is momentum. That is that could have changed the season right there. But we went with Emory Jones. I guess you could say the safe route, whatever. But it's just not panning out. And when you get to these close games, week in and week out, especially playing in the SEC, you're going to have a loss like this, and it's not going to be against Alabama. And granted that I think Kentucky should not, they definitely should have been ranked, especially seeing the teams that are ranked in the polls right now. Like it's ridiculous that Kentucky's not ranked. Um, but regardless, they're undefeated. They got a huge win over a top 10 team tonight. They're going to be ranked after this week. We've got to change one thing though in college football, and that is this injury timeout. Like you can't have an injury 14 times in the game and then nobody comes out of the game because of that injury. Like at some point, we've got to get a hold on this. Like this, it just can't be allowed. You can't sit there on the field and act like you have an injury to get a timeout so that the defense can rest when that's the whole premise of using a timeout. Like Kentucky used 14 timeouts tonight. Like, how is that allowed? At what point do you start saying, "Hey, that's not, no, that it's not allowed." Like you're not injured. Like the game's becoming a joke. The game's becoming a joke, and it's because the refs are allowing it. And the refs tonight, to be honest with you, dude, they should be fired. They should be fired. They should be canned. This is the worst officiating crew. The SEC in general has the worst officiating crew in college football. They don't, like, half of them, I'm pretty sure, do not know the game of football. Like they have no clue what's going on. Like they could not tell you what pass interference is and what offensive holding or defensive holding is. Like they have no clue. And it's blatant. It is completely blatant tonight. Like they get into this point where they have they'll have so many bad calls that they'll just think like, oh, I've got to call something ridiculous for the other team now, and that's what it's getting to, and it's getting to the point where it's a joke. But tonight, I mean, just look at these, just look at the numbers, just look at the numbers. It's going to speak for yourself, or it's going to speak for itself, and yeah, college football is becoming a joke because of it. That's why, like these players, getting paid, everything like that. The SEC, the majority of them are like, no, I don't want that or whatnot. But it just needs to go ahead and be that way when you look at this. It's like, well, I mean, come on, man. Like, what's fair about this? What is fair about this game? Says that was time to buy. Slow down offense. That was bullshit. Can't wait to see the press conference. Yeah, man, I can't wait to see what Dan Mullen has to say, because I don't know if I want to hear what he has to say, because it's just not looking good. It's not looking good at the University of Florida. This is not where we should have been last year. We should have won a national title. We should have won a national title. We sent 4 guys in the first round to the NFL. Yet we didn't even make it to the playoffs. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is going on? And at the end of the day, especially when we lose to Kentucky, you know, 13-20, and we're the number 10 team in the nation, and it's the 5th game of the year. Like, something's not adding up here. But yeah, I'm about to end this right now. Appreciate everybody that was here. Yeah, Florida loses. Probably, I don't know if I'll do another live on this or not. But yeah, man, we've got a lot of question marks we got to answer. But yeah, peace out.